Hi guys, I'm Julia from the Melbourne Osteopathic Clinic, here to take you through another 30 minutes of Pilates. You don't need any equipment, just a rolled up towel or foam roller would be perfect and a bit of room to move. So we're going to start today lying on your back in our constructive rest position. So that means feet are flat on the floor and I want knees together. I thought we'd go back to some of our ABCs, so back to the alignment, breathing and centering. That should be a really core part of our Pilates practice, and then we can try and take that through the rest of the session. So I'll get you to place the heels of your hands on the front of your hips, fingertips on your pubic bone, and try and find your neutral pelvis. So that position should be when you've got that triangular, so you've got your 3 points, and that triangle should be running parallel with the floor. So do a bit of forward and backward work with the pelvis, just find that point where you've got a flat plane through the pelvis there, and then do a little bit of side to side shifting. So hitching one hip at a time up towards your ribs, and just find where you can level out that so you've got no side to side shift. So that is your neutral pelvis. So if we're referring to alignment, that is what you want to be maintaining alignment wise as you're going through the exercises. And then let's do some work on breathing. So let's place one hand on your belly button or just a little bit higher, the other hand underneath your rib cage, so your palm is flat on the floor. Taking a nice breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and try and really fill up between those two hands. So you're getting a sense that your ribs are expanding forward, so anteriorly, posteriorly, so backwards into that hand on the floor, and then also laterally, so out to the side. Check in on that alignment. You don't want to lose your neutral pelvis now that we've started focusing on the breathing. And check in that there's not too much tension through your shoulders. You want shoulders settled down away from your ears. Two more nice deep breaths. Perfect. And then let's do some centering. So thinking about our core now. I want fingertips about halfway between your hip bones and your belly button. So if you are slicing yourself into thirds, you're on that line on the left side and the right side. So you should be able to feel what's happening through your lower abdominals. And then we just do some leg slides. So starting off on the left as you exhale, we just slide that left heel away from you. So you're straightening the left leg. As you inhale, return to the top. Exhale again, slide the right heel down. Inhale, return to the top. So keep those going. Go at your own pace, but we're checking in that as we start to add movement, we're not getting any panicking through these lower abdominals. So you don't want any sort of blasting out into your fingertips there. If you're getting that, maybe just take the range off a little bit. So don't take your heel as far away. And if you've got a mat or a floor that's particularly grabby, you might want to just hover your heel above it. Check in with your alignment. Are you still maintaining that neutral pelvis through this whole movement? And check in with your breathing. Are you still exhaling as you straighten that leg out? Inhaling as you return. And keeping that breath into your lower ribs. Feel like this is giving your body enough to work with, stay here. If you want the progression, we're going to go into a knee float. So on your next exhale, float your left knee towards the ceiling. Inhale, bringing that down. Exhale, floating the right. Inhale, bring that down. And so we're thinking about those ABCs: alignment, breathing, centering, as we're doing these floats. If you feel like you're losing any of those three, you might want to regress back to the leg slides. If you feel like your body needs a little bit more of a challenge, then coming up into a single float, then I want you to bring the other knee to join, and then coming out of that one at a time. So if we start by floating up on the left, join with the right, left comes down, right comes down. Then starting on the right, join with the left, right comes down, left comes down. If you get that sense of blasting through your lower abdominals, just take that down to the singles. Focus on maintaining those ABCs. Okay, so I want to set up for dead bugs. So whatever you're doing, bring both knees up into tabletop. Take a second to reset through the pelvis there, and then we're going to take both arms up overhead, and starting off with right hand, left foot, we're extending away from the body, and then inhale, return, exhale, extending left hand, right foot, inhale, return. If it feels like you've lost all of your ABCs when you go into this, pop your hands on the floor. That should take some load off. So exhale as we extend, inhale to return. I want you to do one more to each side. And then we're going to go into lateral dead bugs. So you're trying to come to the side. So if we start off right hand and left knee, we're dropping away from the body, just where you lose that sense of neutral, and then coming back. Again, opposites. Dropping away and returning back. Try and not let the limbs that are staying in place do too much counterbalancing. You want them to stay where they are. A little bit more thinking work involved in this. We're going to do two more to each side. Perfect. Gently lower those feet down. Bring your hands around the back of your head and have your elbows just in your peripherals so that you can see them. Check in on those ABCs. Make sure you're still in neutral pelvis, Still got those nice deep breaths happening. And we're centered. Then maintaining that. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring your chin towards your chest and coming into a curl up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale. So maintain that sense of depth, especially through your lower abdominals as we're coming up. If you feel like, and you can actually move a hand there to feel it, if you feel like they're jumping out at you, that's the point where you need to turn and head back down. Good. Now if you would like a progression of this, we'll go into a roll up. So extending both legs out straight, both hands on the thighs. Then as you exhale, chin towards your chest, and it's a real roll. So rolling with your spine, peeling off the floor, reaching towards your toes, and then tucking underneath with your pelvis and rolling back. Again, the intention is to maintain those ABCs. So if you can't keep your alignment, you can't keep your breathing, and you can't keep that core nice and settled through this, I want you to continue with the curl ups. Just going to do 2 more here. Good. And then whatever position you're in, come up into sitting. We're going to bring the feet in just slightly. Have them hip width apart, so like you're on 2 train tracks. Setting up in a genie hold, so holding on to both of your elbows. And then we're going to work through a 4-step little core work here. So as you inhale, I want you to tuck underneath with your pelvis. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, sit tall. So again, inhale, tuck under with your pelvis. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, sit up, but keep that curl of your pelvis. And then exhale, we sit tall. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. See if you can find the coordination to do the 4 moves so that we're really differentiating that pelvic tuck underneath with our extension. So you really want to sit forward before you come up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And hopefully you're feeling like each time you come up, you do get that little bit taller and a really nice lift through the chest. I'm going to do 2 more here. Perfect. And then see how you're feeling through the hip flexors. If they're getting a little bit uncomfortable, you can always cross your legs and sit up tall. Otherwise, staying in that bent position there. Keeping your hands in that genie hold, we're going to do some rotation. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, rotating the upper body towards the right. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, rotating out to the left. And you really want to make sure that this rotation is coming from your torso and that your elbows aren't way ahead of your body. So you want to be maintaining that nice square or rectangle you've got in front of you the whole way. If that changes shape, then you know that your elbows might be leading the way. So think of your spine having a nice straight pole through it, and you're like a street sign that's turning on that. One more over to each side. And then what I'd like you to do is extend both legs out so we're just wider than a mat if you've got one. Again, if you're feeling a little bit unhappy through the front of the hips, that rolled up towel or foam roller is perfect here to place underneath your pelvis, just to take a little bit of pressure off through there. So I'm going to do that today. So legs are out a little bit wider than the mat, arms are out straight. We're going to do a saw, which means twisting like we just did, so twisting on that pole. But then once we've maxed out our twist, I want you to reach forward and out to your opposite little toe, then coming up and rotating through. So if we're rotating across to the right, twist and twist, then left hand out to that right little toe or shin, sitting back up and rotating through. So exhale as we twist, twist, reach forward, sit up, inhale as we're coming back through. I'm going to do one more across to each side. Perfect. Then get rid of that support if you added one in, and let's do some rolling like a ball. So you might want to shift forward on your mat so that you've got a bit of room behind you. Then hugging onto both of your shins, try and make a nice round shape with your spine, and then we're going to roll and roll back up. So you're going to make sure that it is a round shape, because if it's flat, the ball will just stop and it won't roll. So this is more about the shape you can create with your spine rather than momentum. We want it to be pretty natural, quite fluid, and not pressing into your knees to create that roll. Sorry, not pressing into your hands. So you really have to try and tuck underneath with the pelvis, keep that round, keep the upper back round as we roll. If you're finding that this is a bit much, you can stay on the floor and then do a little bit of pressure into the knees and coming back down. Do 2 more rolls if that's where you're at. And then let's come and lie on the right hand side. We'll sit up on that right hand side, and we're setting up for a side bend. So fingertips are facing away from you. I want your left foot further away than your right. And we're going to come up and into our side bend. If you want to regress, so this is the position we're going for. If you want to, you can do it with that right knee down or both knees down. So find whatever's comfortable for you. Set those feet or knees up, fingertips facing away. And when you're ready, it's an exhale, up and reach. We're going to do 2 more like this. And on the next one, I want you to see if you can come up, kick your hips up, reach underneath towards that right foot, come back through and down. So again, up into that side bend, hips go up, twisting through towards opposite shin, foot, knee, and then coming back down. 2 more of these. And bring that down. Face your right shin forward, so you're in a Z sit, so your feet are over towards the left, and then try and settle your hips in so that you can be as grounded as possible. Arms out straight, and then we're going to reach your right hand down, and a nice big stretch up and over. And then aeroplane those arms over towards the left. Nice up and over. And we're going to go to the right again, but this time right hand comes towards the back of your mat, left hand towards the front. Try and ground that left hip as much as you can, and then rotating through the chest around to the right, so you are running parallel with that mat. Really trying to ring out through the spine. We've done a lot of rotation today, so it should get you some really nice upper back movement after this. One more breath, see if you can get a bit more twist. Good. And then rotate out of that. Swap the feet over. And then we're ready to side bend towards the left. So the left hand is facing away. Feet are set up so right foot is further away than left. And then you're choosing if you're coming up onto both feet, just on the right, or both knees. And then starting off with 4 bends. So when you're ready, exhale, up and over. Inhale, lowering that down. Last one like this. And then we're going for that bit of a twist. So next time we come up and over, we kick the hips up. Reach underneath for that left foot or shin, rotate back through and lower it down. If you do find that's a bit much, feel free to just do our side bend. Still quite a challenging move. And we've got one more. And bring that down. Bend that left leg in a bit so shin is at the front of your mat. Both feet are facing out towards the right. Arms are in our aeroplane. And let's do a little stretch. Left hand down, keeping that right hip grounded. Stretching up and over to the left. And then coming across. Right hand down, up and over towards the right. Then this time when we go to the left, left hand towards the back of the mat, right hand towards the front. Try and keep your right hip grounded as you turn your chest around to the left, keeping as in line with those hands as you can. One more breath, see if you can find a little bit more twist. And then what I want you to do, keep your hands where they are and step your feet and knees back so you're in your 4-point kneeling. From here, let's work into our cat and camel, so tilting forward through the pelvis, extending the lower back, extending the upper back, looking up, and then reversing through that. Make sure that you're initiating these movements with the lower back and pelvis, and then you want it to flow on up through your spine. Let's go once more through each of these positions. And then coming back to neutral, we're going to walk back into a plank. So I want you to be maintaining your sense of neutral spine and pelvis, keeping your hands where they are, so they should be underneath your shoulders. And then gently stepping back with your left foot, stepping back with your right foot, returning your left knee, and returning your right knee. Then again, stepping out with the right foot, stepping out with the left foot. If you'd like to maintain in a plank, hold here. Otherwise, we're just going to walk through this a couple of times. So you're trying to get a sense of stability through your trunk, even weight through your shoulders and hands, even as we're stepping in and out of this. If you're holding it, you're doing well. We're going to do another 15 seconds. And bring both of those knees down. Good job. Let's sink body weight back down towards the heels. Reach your hands out. Drop your head down and try and settle into a child's pose to finish off. See if you can relax off those shoulders as much as possible, nice and loose. Hips are heavy, headed for the heels. And in your own time, walking those hands in towards your knees. Sitting up. And we're done. Great work.